Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. AIADMK MPs meet Home Minister Rajnath Singh. State ordinance to lift the ban on Jallikattu may be promulgated in a few days. Supreme Court agrees to the centre's request not to pass any interim order for a week. RBI Governor Urjit Patel appears before the Public Accounts Committee, concedes that people did face hardships after demonetisation, assures that the cash situation will normalise soon. Shivpal Yadav does find a place in the Samajwadi party list of 191 candidates for the first three phases of Uttar Pradesh election, but suspense continues over the announcement of an alliance with the Congress. Supreme Court defers the hearing on petition seeking postponement of the union budget till the 23rd of January. Centre files a reply to the Election Commission on procedure followed to delay the budget presentation in 2012. And all eyes on Washington as the US prepares for the swearing in of the 45th president. 70-year-old Donald Trump will be the oldest to take charge of the White House today. Our top story: in the backdrop of over 1 lakh protesters at Marina Beach in Chennai raising slogans against the centre and state governments over the Jallikattu ban, the Supreme Court today agreed to delay its decision after the centre's request. The central government also assured the Tamil Nadu government that an ordinance could be promulgated soon to lift the ban.
Responding to the Tamil Nadu government's efforts to get an ordinance passed to bypass the Supreme Court ban on Jallikattu, Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi opined that the centre could play a role.
Supreme Court has agreed not to pronounce judgment for a week because we think it will take a couple of days for the state and centre to act together and then decide what is the best way forward, keeping in view the Prevention of Cruelty Act and keeping in view the 2014 judgment of the Supreme Court.
On Friday, AIADMK MPs led by senior leader M. Thambidurai met Home Minister Rajnath Singh seeking his intervention in getting the ordinance.
He assured our ordinance, what the Tamil Nadu government brought ordinance, that file can be processed quickly, that can be sent to see that enabling state government bring that ordinance to see that Jallikattu be performed quickly.
Tamil Nadu सरकार ने एक प्रस्ताव बना करके मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स को भेजा है. वहाँ से वो विषय अभी हमारे पास आ रहा है. हम उसके ऊपर पूरा विचार करेंगे और मुझे लगता है कि बहुत जल्दी इसका कोई सॉल्यूशन निकल जाएगा.
The Tamil Nadu government has earlier used a rule that allows the governor to pass emergency rules. Such rules apply to subjects where both the state and the centre have jurisdiction, but the rule has to be approved by the president. On Friday, appealing for the protesters to end their agitation, Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam said the state's ordinance had been sent for President Pranab Mukherjee's approval.
இந்த அவசர சட்டம் இன்னும் ஓரிரு தினங்களுக்குள் பிறப்பிக்கப்படும். மாண்புமிகு பாரத பிரதமர் உறுதியளித்தபடி அதற்கான முழு ஒத்துழைப்பு மத்திய அரசிலிருந்து கிடைக்கும். எனவே ஜல்லிக்கட்டுக்கான தடை நீக்கப்பட்டு தமிழகத்தில் ஜல்லிக்கட்டு ஓரிரு தினங்கள் நடைபெற உள்ள நிலையில் போராட்டத்தில் ஈடுபட்டுள்ள பொதுமக்கள், மாணாக்கர்கள், பல்வேறு அமைப்புகளை சேர்ந்தவர்கள் ஆகியோர் தங்களது போராட்டங்களை உடனடியாக கைவிட வேண்டும் என்று நான் அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன்.
Meanwhile, the protests seeking an end to the Jallikattu ban entered the fourth day, with both protesters and animal rights activists stepping up efforts to get a decision in their favour. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, RBI Governor Urjit Patel today conceded before a Public Accounts Committee that after the sudden ban of the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes in November, people did face hardships. Speaking to PSC members on Friday, the RBI Governor also informed that the central bank is in talks with service providers and banks to reduce digital transaction costs. He admitted that the demonetisation step has had a short-term effect on the gross domestic product, but assured them that the move will have a positive impact in the mid and long term. Urjit Patel was also asked by members of the PSC about suspicious transactions in cooperative banks. In reply, Patel said that specific agencies like the Financial Intelligence Unit and Income Tax Department were looking into abnormal deposits. The RBI governor has reportedly given an explanation to PSC members and assured them that the cash situation will normalise soon. Former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh has said that independent thinking and free expression at Indian universities were under threat in the wake of the unrest at the University of Hyderabad and Delhi's Jawaharlal Nehru University last year. He also said that attempts to suppress peaceful dissent is undemocratic. The former Prime Minister also said that political interference in academic appointments is highly short-sighted.
Regrettably, independent thinking and free expression at Indian university are now under threat. Political interference in university curriculum and academic appointment is highly short-sighted. Recent attempts to interfere with free expression of the student community in Hyderabad Central University and Jawaharlal Nehru University are of particular concern. Attempts to suppress peaceful dissent are not only inimical to learning, they are also undemocratic. We must make every effort to protect the autonomy of our universities and to foster the right of our students to express ideas that powerful interests may not always agree with.
And here are more updates from across the country and nationwide. Amid seat-sharing talks with the BJP, the Shiv Sena targeted its ally for inducting people with criminal records, saying that giving a roof to criminals with an iron power is worse than accumulating black money. In an editorial in the party's mouthpiece, Samna, the Shiv Sena said that everyone desired power, but it should not come at this cost, and said that it was issuing a warning to the BJP as a friend. The Delhi police was today directed by a court in New Delhi to file an action-taken report on a criminal complaint seeking an FIR against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The complaint alleged that the CM misled people by saying that municipal corporations were not under the state's control. Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Manish Markan said, in fact, called for the report from the officials of Karaval Nagar Police Station after hearing arguments of the council for the complainant. The court fixed the matter for the 15th of April for filing of the action taken report. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly unanimously passed a resolution for creating a conducive atmosphere for the respectable return of Kashmiri Pandits to the valley. The move was initiated by former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, who said that there was a need to rise above party politics. Speaker Kavindra Gupta moved the resolution, which was passed by voice vote. The Chief Minister, Mehbooba Mufti, slammed those opposed to transit the accommodation for the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley and questioned how the return of people could bring about a demographic change. All right, now on to politics. And Samajwadi Party released its first list of candidates for the 191 seats for the upcoming polls on Friday. And Shivpal Yadav and Azam Khan were among those who've been given a ticket. However, there's still no clarity on whether the alliance with the Congress is on or not.
Shivpal Yadav, the warring uncle of Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, along with controversial State Minister Azam Khan, has made it to the first list of 191 Samajwadi Party candidates released on Friday. The ruling party's first list of candidates covered the first 3 phases of the 7-phase polling beginning on February 11th. The party has offered 18 seats to Congress in these 3 phases.
अभी तो कांग्रेस का पास से कोई पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस अभी तक नहीं आया, तो चुनाव शुरू हो चुका। हम लोग चाहते भाजपा को हराने के लिए, कांग्रेस चाहते हैं उनका शक्ति को मजबूत करने के लिए। तो पहला लक्ष्य भाजपा का हराना। तो कांग्रेस गठबंधन में राजी हो जाएंगे, भाजपा को हराना चाहते हैं तो समाजवादी पार्टी जो सीट कांग्रेस को देना चाहते हैं, कांग्रेस का 52 सीट के ऊपर कांग्रेस का हक है।
ये चर्चा में इस तरह का कोई विषय तो नहीं था। अगर ऐसा हुआ है तो मुझे अभी जानकारी नहीं है। गठबंधन के लिए कोई अभी किसी भी तरह का कोई अवरोध तो नहीं आया। मैं ये मानता हूँ कि गठबंधन हो कार्यकर्ताओं के सम्मान पर।
The Samajwadi Party has offered seats to the Congress on the basis of the position of their candidates in the 2012 assembly polls. The SP is reportedly insisting on contesting all seats in Amethi and can spare one for Congress in Rai Bareli. The two districts are considered Congress bastions.
5 साल अभूतपूर्व काम किए हैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने, और इस सरकार में जो विकास कार्य हुए हैं वो इसके पहले किसी सरकार में नहीं हुए थे। फिर से चुनाव जिताने के लिए और पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार बनाने के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी द्वारा जो काम कराए गए हैं वो पर्याप्त हैं, और मेरा अपना ये विचार है, मेरा अपना मानना है कि किसी भी गठबंधन की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है।
The alliance talks apart. The inclusion of Shivpal in the first list of candidates indicates a reconciliation between Mulayam Singh Yadav and son Akhilesh Yadav. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in fact, the Election Commission today asked the Cabinet Secretariat for fresh details on the procedure followed by the then UPA-2 government in postponing the presentation of the Union Budget in 2012. The opposition had sought that the budget presentation be postponed in view of the assembly elections in 5 states. They allege that budget announcements might help the ruling party to influence voters. The centre, however, defended its decision, stating that the Union Budget is an annual constitutional exercise and covers the entire country. It also stuck to its decision to advance the budget presentation, arguing that it was done to ensure that the budgetary allocations were made well in time. The budget session this year will start from the 31st of January, and the Union Budget and Economic Survey are slated to be presented the day after. The Supreme Court will hear the plea seeking a postponement of the Union Budget on the 23rd of January.
यूजुअली जब कभी भी चुनाव की घोषणा होती है तो उस वक्त इवन बजटेड वर्क को शुरू नहीं किया जाता, क्योंकि उसका असर, उसका इन्फ्लुएंस वोटर के ऊपर पड़ता है। तो अब ये अगर आप बजट पेश करेंगे फरवरी में तो उसका असर, और आप पॉपुलिस्ट स्कीम जो भी लाएंगे वो अगर मतदाताओं को अट्रैक्ट करने का, आकर्षण करने का अगर उसमें मुद्दे हैं तो उसका परिणाम चुनाव पे हो सकता है।
Now to Manipur, where Praja Party mascot Irom Sharmila is slowly recovering from her 16-year-long hunger strike. And with elections just around the corner, she is now working hard on reaching out to voters and voice her agenda as a new politician. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to Irom about her plans and what she sees ahead in the future.
Mainly the focus will be on repeal of ABSPA and as well as bringing right to justice to all and economically independent.
Assembly election is for overall development and control and administration of the states. So why only ABSPA you want to put as your agenda?
As for me, I want to focus on ABSPA repeal, the draconian law in a democratic country.
Do you plan to make an alliance with any other party, or you want to fight the election alone?
Just single out a regional party based on ideology and principle, but not on muscle and money power. But those left party front consisting of around 7 different parties suggested us to join them for a pre-poll alliance to strengthen so as to encounter with the most powerful BJP and the Congress parties.
So do you want to make any alliance with any of them?
I think it's also good for making the government.
You are feeling that you will form the government, or you are fighting for sitting in the opposition?
If possible, on the ruling seat.
Election requires lots of money and resources. Do you think that you can manage all those things?
If we want to come to see real democracy in the society, we really want to depend on people's support.
All right, now to Punjab, where former BJP MP Navjot Singh Sidhu, who joined the Congress just a few days back, has accused the Badals of having looted Punjab in their 10-year rule. Sidhu alleged the Badals had a direct conflict of interest with the state exchequer. He also told voters that there was a pressing need for change in the state. The Congress candidate claimed that he had never seen such resentment among people against the government. Cricketer turned politician Sidhu is fighting the assembly polls from Amritsar East seat on a Congress ticket.
मैं आज उजागर करन वाला बादलों की लुट घसुट की नीति ते उन्हां दी नीयत कि किस तरह पंजाब दा पेट पाड़ के अपने घर भरे गए ने, किस तरह लाखां करोड़ पैसा जिहड़ा है वो निजी संपत्तियां बन गईयां जिहड़ा कि पंजाब दा हक सी.
And here are more updates from the election-bound states in Polpuri. 695 nomination papers out of nearly 1,950 were rejected in Punjab after scrutiny for the 4th February assembly polls. Over 1,200 nominations were found valid and 695 invalid, while 3 cases were kept pending, 1 in Hoshiarpur and 2 in Mansa. The last date of withdrawal of candidature is the 21st of January, and the counting of votes will take place on the 11th of March. Filing of nominations kicked off for the first phase of polling in UP to be held on the 15th of February. The second phase will cover 67 assembly constituencies spanning 11 districts of Uttar Pradesh, including Bareilly, Bijnor, Kheri, Saharanpur, Moradabad, Shahjahanpur, Badaयूं, Rampur, Sambhal, Pilibhit and Amroha. The nominations for the second phase of polling will continue till the 27th of January, while scrutiny would take place on the 30th of January. Nomination for the assembly elections in Uttarakhand began today. The polling for all 70 constituencies will be held in the state on the 15th of February in a single phase. Nomination would be filed up till 27th of January and scrutiny would take place on the 30th. February 1st is the last date for withdrawal. Without a quick break here, we'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
I was involved in the development almost all the missile systems which our country is seeing, like Agni series of missiles, Prithvi. We are famous for making the world best missile system. So I take pride in developing and delivering the world super-fast, supersonic cruise missile called BrahMos. We wanted to enhance the capabilities of a soldier.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Sudhir Mishra, CEO and MD at BrahMos Aerospace, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. Let's get you all the action from the Australian Open now. Top seeds Andy Murray and Angelique Kerber comfortably made it to the 4th round with straight set victories. Sania Mirza and her doubles partner Barbara Strykova also advanced into the 3rd round of the women's doubles category. But India's challenge in the men's category ended after Rohan Bopanna lost his doubles match.
On day 5 of the Australian Open, Sania Mirza and her partner Barbara Strykova advanced into the 3rd round of the women's doubles, beating the Australian-Chinese pair of Samantha Stosur and Shuai Zhang. The 4th seed Indo-Czech pair won 6-1, 6-4 in the 2nd round. However, India's challenge in the men's doubles ended as Rohan Bopanna and his Uruguayan partner Pablo Cuevas were knocked out in the 2nd round. The 15th seeds lost to Australia's Alex Bolt and Bradley Mousley 6-2, 6-7, 4-6. In the men's singles, world number 1 Andy Murray sailed into the fourth round by making short work of American Sam Querrey. The 29-year-old Brit, who is a 5-time runner-up at the tournament, powered his way to a comprehensive 6-4, 6-2, 6-4 win. Murray is the favourite to win the tournament after defending champion Novak Djokovic was knocked out on Thursday. 17-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer overcame a challenge from 10th-seed Tomas Berdych. Federer won in straight sets 6-2, 6-4, 6-4.
He is here in Australia not just to compete and see how things are going.
Fourth seed Stan Wawrinka also advanced to the next round after overcoming a rusty start to win in 4 sets over Serbia's Viktor Troicki. Women's defending champion Angelique Kerber also moved into the last 16 with a dominant win over Czech Kristina Pliskova. The world number 1 lost just 4 games in a 6-0, 6-4 routing of her opponent. Venus Williams looked ominous in her third round win as she beat Chinese Yingying Duan 6-1, 6-0. However, 8th seed Svetlana Kuznetsova had to toil hard for victory against former world number 1 Yelena Yankovic. The Russian prevailed in 3 sets 6-4, 5-7, 9-7. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now international news, and the top story this evening is that in a few hours, the 45th president of the US, Donald Trump, will be sworn in. Ahead of the ceremony, security has been tightened in Washington as thousands of protesters are expected to gather in the capital city of Washington. Trump, of course, will be the oldest American president at the age of 70 to take charge of the White House. Ahead of the ceremony, Washington has been turned into a virtual fortress. Thousands of people, both supporters and also opponents, expected to arrive for the inauguration. His ascendancy to the top post, of course, has been marred by several protests, but not only in the US, also across the world. As far as today's day is concerned, his morning, the proceedings would start by about 8 p.m. India time, and we'll try and keep you updated on what's been going on, and eventually leading up to that, of course, historic moment when he will take oath as the 45th president of the United States. With that, let's take you through some more international news updates in Global Buzz. In Africa, where tension prevails in Gambia, Adama Barrow was sworn in as the country's president. The country's ruler, Yahya Jammeh, who is in power since a 1994 coup, has refused to step aside, though. West African armies have begun an operation aimed at installing the country's new president. A total of 7,000 troops from Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, Togo and Mali would be involved in the operation. On Thursday, Senegalese troops entered Gambia in inner support for Barrow. He is presently in Senegal and has said that he will not return to his country, Gambia, until the military operation comes to an end. At least 20 people have died and 70 injured, and more than 30 others remain missing after a commercial building caught on fire and collapsed on Thursday morning in Tehran. Rescue workers in Tehran were desperately hunting for firefighters trapped under the rubble after a fire today led to the collapse of Iran's oldest high-rise, the 15-storied Plasco building. The rescue operation is still underway. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has ordered a thorough investigation. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov today said that Russia has observed positive signs in the Syrian peace process. Lavrov further added that Moscow sees a meeting in the is seeing a meeting in the Kazakh capital in the next week as an important step towards establishing a framework for talks taking place in Geneva. Militants from the Islamic State group have destroyed part of the Roman amphitheater in the ancient city of Palmyra. Syria's antiquities chief said that the tetrapylon, a group of 4 pillared structures which were mainly modern replicas, have been ruined. The jihadists recaptured the UNESCO-listed archaeological site in December from government troops. Irina Bakova, Director General of the UNESCO, said what she described as cultural cleansing by violent extremists had resulted in an immense loss for the Syrian people and for humanity. That's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.